Here's the first place he could go next year and win the championship.
Oh!
And that's Houston. For sure. Beetle, you with me or you're not with me? You put him out there with Chris Paul and Harden.
Yes.
They should have won this year. And if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, they would have beaten Golden State this year.
Well, I'll just tell you this. You deplete your depth, you add them on Houston's roster to the point where you lose Eric Gordon, you lose P.J. Tucker, you lose Trevor Ariza, and you're possibly going to lose Clint Capella.
I already saw stories at Golden State possibly going after Trevor Ariza. They may lose him anyways. That doesn't matter.
My point is, you find ways to replace some of those pieces. Some of them want to play with him. You work out the dollars. If you put LeBron James on Houston, in my opinion, he certainly has an excellent chance to win the championship. Give me the next one.
And I can't argue too much because I felt like Houston would have won this year without him.
Beetle, how's that look?
Go!
How does that look?
Spurs, go!
It's kind of weird. I gotta be honest. I feel like I'm on a therapist's couch.
She don't want to get too enthusiastic
it's odd.
yet.
It's very odd.
You put this guy on a team coached by Greg Popovich, and you put him alongside Kawhi Leonard, and you have arguably, the world has forgotten what Kawhi Leonard is because a year is an eternity.
Top 3 player in the game.
Yeah, a top 3 and maybe a top 2 two-way player in the game. Maybe even, well, I won't go so far as to say number 1. Let's give LeBron that continuously. But let's say the second best two-way player in the game, alongside LeBron and the pieces that LeBron put around him that you know that coach would figure out a way to do. You put LeBron on San Antonio, he's got an excellent chance to win the championship.
And there's no secret about how much respect going both ways between he and Pop. It's interesting.
But I would say to add LeBron's salary mean you probably lose somebody's salary up front, like LaMarcus Aldridge, who's a 20-point scorer. And if you're going to beat the Golden State Warriors, you have to have somebody.
I saw some sort of workout the other day where they wouldn't lose Aldridge. They'd lose Tony Parker and 2 other guys, but wasn't Aldridge. So it was interesting.
And even if you are to keep Aldridge, which would be great, because obviously you want to compete against the Golden State Warriors, their backcourt is basically depleted trying to go against Steph Curry and some of the top guards in the league.
Okay, the collection of players that LeBron dragged into the finals this year should give everyone an indication of what he might do with Kawhi Leonard. Go to the next one.
Okay.
Here's the next one. You ready?
Yeah.
I know this is the one you've been questioning for some time. And I know that you do not feel that LeBron and Ben Simmons fit particularly well on the floor together. But I would say that if you cannot figure out a way to make LeBron James, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons the best team in the Eastern Conference, then you're making some mistake. And I would give them a fighting chance to win the championship.
So Ben Simmons, excuse me, and LeBron James fit on the basketball team because they're both unselfish. They're both terrific at giving up a good shot to get a great shot, and they're terrific athletes, and they have a kinship already. But once it gets to a championship level, like second round of the playoffs, conference finals, you're going against the Celtics, and then you're going against the Warriors, now all of a sudden we expose your weaknesses. Joel Embiid is terrific at scoring, getting boards, and blocking shots. He's virtually unstoppable when he gets going. And I think as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to probably be in the best shape that he's been, which is scary for the league. But now when we're in the playoff series, you saw it happen with the Celtics. They're going to play off of Ben Simmons, Greeny, and they're going to force him to be a perimeter-oriented player. It's one thing when he's the primary ball handler. It's another thing when he's the secondary
Jalen,
pass.
he just beat the Celtics with J.R. Smith. Okay, now all of a sudden you're going to give him Joel Embiid. Beetle, this is your team. Work with me.
I only agree in the sense that I do think Ben Simmons, unfortunately, was very much exposed during the playoffs this year alone. Now, he's got a long offseason ahead. I imagine he's working on everything when he's not figuring out who he's going to date. There's a lot to learn there for him, but I do think it would be an interesting and maybe not always beneficial pairing for Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons is a superstar in his own right, which is why he grabbed the attention of the Jenners. But you can't have 2 guys that can average a triple-double, only one.
Okay.
You're
purposely throwing me off. Let me go to the 2. Now, those are the 3 obvious ones.
Okay.
I know. I was going to say, what are the next?
Now, let me give you something a little bit off the beaten path. Show me the next one.
No!
You're telling me you put LeBron?
No.
This is the one team, they can't beat LeBron. You put him
Why would he
on
want
the
to go there?
Toronto Raptors? Why not? They're 1,000 times better than the team that he has. You put him on the floor with DeMar DeRozan, you never know what might happen.
This is like the reverse Durant.
What I learned from the Toronto Raptors is their issues aren't physical. They're mental.
Right. They can't beat LeBron James. Give them LeBron James. They won 59 games without him.
Weird.
This is the one guy they can't beat.
I understand why you would say that. And you know what? Out of all of the teams you just mentioned, I actually have the least argument. Here's why.
Are you serious?
Here's why. Because like Philly, they're in the East. They were already a number 1 seed without him. 9 of their rotation players are under contract for next year. So you would physically be adding him to a team. in that conference that's already weak.
Let me give you.
I understand where you're going with that.
And now let me give you my pièce de
And
résistance.
Toronto is so fun.
Here's the one nobody sees coming, and it's not going to happen. He won't go there.
Detroit.
No, go ahead, show me.
It's Detroit. It's Detroit.
You put this guy on a team with Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday and start figuring out the rest of it. That's a team that was fun to watch this year. They swept through the first round of the playoffs. LeBron James will figure out a way to make Anthony Davis the MVP of the league. Anthony Davis would be the MVP. He almost was this year anyway.
True.
Would be the MVP of the NBA with LeBron, and I would love to see a conference final between Golden State and a LeBron James-led New Orleans Pelicans.
Now you stomp me.
Really?
With this one, because I agree with you. You put him alongside Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday, now you have the guard presence that can make Steph work. You have the forward presence that can make KD work, and then you have a dominant big in Anthony Davis down low. This is the team that you just gave me clarity that LeBron James could join and could really push the Golden State Warriors.
I'm impressed by what just happened.
What do you
here.
like? What do you like?
I'm
Give me the
impressed.
team you think he could join next year, gives him the best chance of winning a championship.
But it's probably the Rockets. I would say the Rockets. I mean, the Spurs thing is just, I think because I'm a Spurs fan, I feel too close to it. It feels weird to me. I haven't accepted that
But
yet.
you know that the common denominator is we're putting LeBron James either with Kawhi, a top 5 player, James Harden, who's going to win MVP, or Anthony Davis, who's a top 5 player.
Right.
That's clearly what it's going to take if you're going to upend the Golden State
Absolutely.
It
Warriors.
is tried and true. They did it in Golden State and it worked.